Welcome to the video, everyone. I hope you've all had a productive week and you're looking forward to the weekend. In this video, we are going to be taking a deep dive into product research, and namely a new product research tool that I've been trialing over the last few months, and I want to introduce it to you guys and hopefully it will help you when you are conducting your product research. So we're going to jump straight into this one. I hope you enjoy. Remember to like, comment and turn those post notifications on. I'll see you in the next one. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be back. I've been away for a week. I've been in London for a while, so I was MIA for a few days, but I'm back and giving you guys a new video, something that I have been waiting a few months to launch on my YouTube channel. But essentially, we're going to be looking at some new software to help you guys locate profitable products, in-demand products to sell on Amazon. So just quickly, right, before we start, I need some ideas from you guys, right? I need this is currently what I'm working with on my desk at the moment. So there's not a lot going on there. I don't know what this is. I think it might be some sort of laptop holder or stand. I'm not too sure. That's just there for its ornamental value. It's just there to make my desk look full. And we have a phone holder. So comment below something that I could put on that desk that you know, wouldn't be too distracting for you guys, but would fill up the background a little bit because it's looking a little bit bare. But back on to the point. So an introduction briefly, just first of all. So when you are at the initial stages of Amazon FBA, product research is a very important stage, right? It's one of the most important. It's also one of the most time consuming, and it can be the most difficult. Now that's not to say that other elements of the process are not difficult, because they are. You know, launching a product, you have to have a unique strategy to launch a product. You can't just throw it up on Amazon and hope for the best. We have lots of components, you know, it's compartmentalized into different sections, and product research, for me, I found it the most challenging at the beginning. So we like to, when we are about to launch a product on Amazon, when we're doing our research, we want to make data-driven decisions. And what I mean by that is we don't want to be using guesswork, right? I think a product might do well. I like this product. I'm passionate about it, so it must be doing well on Amazon. We want to make data-driven decisions, and those decisions are based on data points, right? Variables on Amazon. And one way to measure those variables, engage the variables, is by using software. So variables, I'll give you an example, would be things like reviews, revenue, monthly sales, average review rating. Those would be an example of some data points that we would consider when looking at a particular product before making the ultimate decision to proceed with the product. Now, I'm waffling. So up until 2015, around that sort of time, before Jungle Scout and different pieces of software were introduced, there was a lot of guesswork that went on, meaning people would manually try and work out and whether a product was doing well, and it'd be a lot of gut instinct involved in the decision, whereas now we have a more solid and strategic approach, right? We have a method to what we're doing. So up until very recently, 4 or 5 months ago, I'd been solely using Jungle Scout as my tool to conduct product research. This is also the software that I had been recommending on my course, up until very recently. Now, this isn't a video to slate Jungle Scout. I think Jungle Scout are good, but in an ever-changing environment, you've got to be constantly improving and adapting your suite of tools to, reflect the marketplace and the demand and needs that that sellers have, like you and I, who are searching for products. And I believe that this new software has done that. So Jungle Scout has been something that it's been a staple for me, myself, and my students, but it has got some downsides, and we're going to look at those in this video when I start to compare the two, and I'm going to give you basically just my opinion, right? It's ultimately going to be down to you guys what you choose to go for, but this is something that I was introduced to this in November last year. They reached out to me personally, but I get contacted by quite a number of companies, and I don't just immediately think I'm going to go and, you know, promote this company or this particular tool. I like to test it, and I have had other tools that I've tested that haven't been as good, and I've not bothered to recommend them. Now, this is actually, to be honest, probably only this is the second or third tool that in a year that I've actually introduced to you guys. So I want to just kick things off. Now, Helium 10 is a suite of tools rather than just an individual tool, which ultimately is going to help you sell on Amazon. Now, what does that mean? So there's lots of different parts to the process when selling on Amazon. You have the product research stage. You have the stage where you are trying to find in-demand keywords or high search volume keywords. You have stages where you're going to be creating your listing and trying to identify what keywords to put into your listing. Lots of different stages that you'll be going through. Now, they have come up with a solution, an all-in-one solution to many of these stages to address these stages, and how they've come up with a tool that will help you as a seller be able to manage and cope whilst you're working through the process. So initially, and we'll just start off at the beginning, there's two of the tools are very, very similar, or three really, but two, strikingly similar. And you're probably aware, if you do use Jungle Scout, that they have a Chrome extension. So you pay for the Chrome extension currently. I believe it's sort of either $97 or $197 annually. Helium 10 offer an equivalent to that. So they offer something called X-Ray. Now, X-Ray is an extension that will sit on your Google Chrome and will allow you to conduct product research. So you can actually download this for free, and you have 1,000 free searches. And I'm going to go into their plan here. So you have 1,000 free searches, or 1,000 requests even. Well, no, that's not 1,000 different individual searches. That's just 1,000 different individual products. So you might get like 30 to 60 maybe searches with this. But it's a good chance for you guys to try it out, right? Try out the actual tool and see how it works. So if I show you guys what I mean, if we pop onto this section here, we see this this part here. Now again, if you want to get this tool, all you have to do is just create an account with Helium 10 and you'll have free access to this tool. If you are just, trying to gain some insight into how it works and, you want to just give it a try basically. So if we click on this section here, we can see that it's called X-Ray, and we can click on this and it will break down in a very similar fashion to what Jungle Scout does a lot of the data points that we need to consider when making a decision on a product. Now, this isn't the only things that you consider. Actually, a lot of sellers or individuals who, solely focus on set criteria and, the low reviews, it needs to be light and weight, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. But that's not everything, right? We need to encompass a lot more than that, have a much broader scope on what we're looking at. But that doesn't mean to say that it's not important, because it is very important. The criteria is important, but it needs to be combined with other things. So if we look at this product, for example, we can see here, now in terms of speed, when you compare this to the Chrome extension with Jungle Scout, they're very similar. It's marginal, the difference. You wouldn't notice it, sort of like an Apple iPhone 10 versus, I don't know, 7S. There's not a huge amount of difference, but, if you count in milliseconds, or if you really want something that's super quick, Jungle Scout is slightly quicker. But this offers much of the same information that Jungle Scout's Chrome extension does. However, one of the things that does differentiate this product from Jungle Scout is that it actually has integrated Keeper's sales history and BSR ranking graph within the listing. So you're actually able to, and you need to be aware of seasonality. You probably are aware that, typically we don't go for seasonal products. I have got students who are selling seasonal products, and you can find products that do well, but ultimately, if you can find an evergreen product which has the same volume during a seasonal season, then, and it's all year round, it's going to be better. But, you will find a lot of people will avoid seasonal products, and then other people will look at that as an opportunity and just order stock for those times of year when they're doing well. But Nevertheless, it's important to be aware of the seasonality. So, for example, if we click on this RFID card blocking holder and we click here, it will show you their sales data over a period of time. So we can see there over the last year, it has been on the increase from July the 1st, 18 to April 1st, 19. So if we look, and I give you an idea, if we look at Nivea sun cream, I'm not sure if this will pick it up because I'm looking at an individual listing. Right, it does. So if we look here, now we can see that sales for sun cream have been increasing from March to April. Now, it's a seasonal product. People are going to be, applying that sun cream during the hotter months of the year, hence why sales have been increasing from March to April. And again, if you were looking at launching sun cream in May and you weren't aware that it was seasonal, maybe it didn't register, it doesn't always register, you're looking at hundreds of products, it doesn't register, you would need to know that it's only going to sell well at certain times of the year. And this will very easily, or in a very easy way, display that data to you instead of you having to go into Keeper and going to have a look for yourself. And I do believe that Keeper they've actually removed that feature, or they did remove it very recently. So there are other ways to do it though. And again, we've got it here. So you're able to see the actual longevity and the sales history for a product, which is important, right? We've got their BSR, which we know about, revenue figures. So for example, this product is doing 4,000, 2,900, 4,000. And if we go down here, you see we've got products that have got under, 200 reviews, doing 2,500, 118 reviews, 6.5, 25 reviews, 2,125. Remember, this is revenue, it's not profit. Profit margins vary. Profit margins can fall between 25 and 50%. I've seen it lower and I've seen it higher than that. Typically, I would say an average is about 35%. You should be shooting for a 35% margin, meaning that this listing would be doing, assuming it was doing 35%, it was established and it didn't have a high PPC spend, it had already launched, it would be doing about £800 profit, 246, yeah, about £900 profit. So it's pretty good, right, for a single product as simple as this. So again, it will also break down the dimensions, the weight, the tier, whether it's a standard size, oversized example. So it's a useful tool and you get 1,000 free searches. So even if you don't end up, using Helium 10, you prefer Jungle Scout, definitely take a look at this tool. Now, that's quite straightforward. Now, also what you'll notice, guys, if you look at the screen here, you can see that it's actually populated a lot of data on the sales page. So it tells you what their BSR is within the category. It tells you what category it is. It will give you their ASIN. So it tells you whether they're FBA or FBM. And what that will mean you can do is you can identify information relating to a product very easily, right? It's just in front of you. You don't have to go into the listing, scroll down and find the ASIN. If you wanted to do, for example, a reverse ASIN lookup, it's just there in front of you. So they're making things very accessible and easy to process. So I do really like that about Helium 10. When I'm browsing products, I like to know what its rank is within a category, because that will give me an indication of its sales. I also want to know what category it's in, for example, and whether or not it's sold by FBA or FBM. So we can see that here, and it's all displayed as part of the software. Now, if we go back to the suite of tools, now I've only got access to this because I have the tools, right? I'm a member. I've actually got access to all of these tools across the left side of the page, and I am going to break this this tutorial up into two sections, I think, because there's a lot of information. I don't want you guys to fall asleep on me halfway through the video, because there is a lot to take in. It's worth it though, because it's useful, right? You have to put time into self-development and learning to be able to improve. So we're going to look at Black Box. Now, Black Box is Helium 10's answer to the web app. It's a web app that's the equivalent of Jungle Scout. I do find it more accurate. I run it against my own products. It finds my own products when I put the parameters in correctly, and the figures are slightly more accurate. As well as that, there've been some issues with Jungle Scout recently. Students have been contacting me with problems, and Jungle Scout have admitted themselves that they've had some issues with their software and the accuracy and just the functionality. It hasn't been working as well as it should, and they are in the process of fixing that. But one of the things that has been an issue, not just since they've been having the problems, but before, was that the revenue figures weren't matching up from the data from the web app to when they were double checked on the Chrome extension. So for example, if they found a product on the web app and then double checked it with the Chrome extension, the numbers wouldn't match up, right? And that's quite disconcerting because, you know, if on the web app you find a product and it says it's doing £2,500 a month, and then you check on the Chrome extension and it says it's doing £50 a month, alarm bells start to ring. So basically, black box, to give you an analogy, it's basically saying, you know, you're looking, we're in a boat, right? I'm going to give you an analogy here. We're in a boat, or metaphor even, we're in a boat and we're looking for a particular type of fish, right? So we throw our net out. Now, we don't throw any old net out that's going to bring back a load of junk and a load of, you know, fish that we don't want. We want to be very selective about what we are wanting to find. Let's say we're trying to find, I don't know, bass, right? I don't know where I pulled that one out from. We're trying to find bass, and we have a particular net that works very well to find bass. Now, we put all the, you know, we'll have a net that's a specific size that would target that type of fish. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but you know what I'm getting at. Essentially, this allows you to set parameters, and you can throw out your net and you can find products that fit your parameters. So if you don't want to see electrical products, it won't show you them. If you don't want to see products that have got over 1,000 reviews, it won't show you them. It will only reflect your search parameters. So let me give you an example. Their marketplace, they have got a few tools, and I will touch on these in the next video, and I might touch on one in this one. But we can simply select a few categories. So if we go, I'm not going to go beauty actually, we're going to go baby products. Let's go garden and outdoors. I tend to avoid electronics. I've had students do very well selling electronic products, but typically they break more frequently than simpler products. They have you know, internal mechanisms and parts and batteries, things that can go wrong, which is what we want to avoid. And often you can have to go through hazmat reviews, which is okay, but hazmat reviews, and they have certain restrictions. You'll need CE mark in different things. So we'll stay out of electronics category for now. Let's go garden and outdoors. We'll go home and personal care, home and kitchen. Now, monthly revenue, again, we're telling Blackbox now on Helium 10 to go and find us products within this category. We've also can set it to .co.uk, right, which is very important. And it's just deleted all that, so I'm just going to click it all again. So baby products, can I remember? Garden and outdoors, health and personal care, home and kitchen. Boom. Now, if we go to monthly revenue, right, we don't want to see products that are doing less than, let's say, £1,500 revenue a month. We're not going to cap it at a maximum because we don't want a maximum on the revenue, right? We could see products that are doing 50k a month if we want, but we don't want to see anything less than 1.5. Now, the price, this is a highly debated topic among sellers, right? There's a fairly fixed set, a set of pricing that you can follow, which is typically between £50 and £30, because you know, you are likely to have higher profit margins with products of that value, and they are in theory going to do better. However, again, that in this game there are no, you know, dead set rules that you have to stick to. I have had students, and I know from my own experience, you can have a product that has a lower price point that can have a similar margin and can have a similar ROI, right? It can have high sales volume, and it can have such a high sales volume because the price is lower that you can match what you would have done with a higher price point item. So although I'm going to put this, we're going to put this 15 to 30, I would suggest also searching for products between like 8 and 15, because you might find a gem, right? You don't just necessarily have to completely discount a product because of the price, but ideally, it's more likely you will find one in this range. And we're obviously all about probabilities here. We want to find products. We want to be most likely to find a product. We want to make it, we want it to be in our favor with the parameters that we're putting in to get the best results. So we're going to go 15 to 30 for this. Now, review count, again, another highly debated topic among sellers. My personal opinion has changed slightly. I used to search for products that had less than 100 reviews. I now believe if you have a strong differentiation factor, you've added value, you've created a USP, and you've done it well, and you know there's a lot to consider. I've got a huge quantity of my lectures within the course looking at that, but I do believe if you do satisfy those points that you can compete with sellers that have 200 reviews or 180 to 220 reviews, it can be done, right? I've had a student who's just launched who's got like 6 reviews or 4 reviews, and she's doing incredibly well, sitting bang smack in the middle of 5, 6 other sellers who've got over 100, because she differentiated well, she understood what she needed to do with her listing in terms of keyword research, and everything else in between. I won't waffle on too much about it, but we're going to put 200 in, right? When you start creeping up into 400, 500, 600, 1,000, it starts to get difficult. People, you can't deny the fact that people will, that will be a deciding factor whether or not someone will buy a product. If they've got a tremendous amount of reviews, it will weigh on their decision, and it will influence their decision highly. But 200, they can be swayed, right? You can sway someone away from a 200 review purchase to a 25 review purchase on the basis that it's a brand new product, it's fresh, and it brings something different, something better than the old boring one with 200 reviews. That's the way I look at it, and I've seen it work, you know, through evidence, through actual people putting it into practice. So review rating, we look for products that have got less than 4.5, right? We could look at 4. Again, the worse the reviews, the more likelihood that you can improve on the product itself. So you can look at the reviews and you can think, right, that's wrong with this, that's wrong with it, and I'm going to improve those 2 things. So looking at negative reviews, and there is a tool on this piece of software that allows you to do that. So we'll keep that there for now. So let's search here. So we can see straight away that it's giving us over 200 results. So you can narrow this down, right? If you thought that 200 was too high, you guys thinking, well, it's too high for me, you can drop it to 150, right? So we can search products for 150, still 200 plus, but it's going to be less. If you wanted to search for products that have got a 4-star review rating or less, it will lower it again, but it's still above 200. Demonstrating to you guys there are a lot of products that fit this criteria, which is a good thing. So think about why we'd stay away from this product, or why we wouldn't base any data on this product. It's a big brand, it's a household name, we won't bother with that. But if we drop down to here, we see, you know, just a typical example, in the home and kitchen category, it's got 3.5-star listing, so not great. 134 reviews, and it's doing about 1,704 in revenue a month. Again, you can guesstimate sales margin, just being sensible, profit margin at about 30%. Could be higher, could be lower, but we'll say 30. So they'll be doing about £520 profit per month on that product. It's a lot of money, right? 500, that pays off a mortgage. And this is quite reserved, a conservative estimate and a conservative product in terms of their revenue. We find a lot higher than this. So we'll scroll down. We can see here that what I'm trying to get at is that it has found products within this parameter, and we can go for an advanced search. So if you were looking for something in particular, let's say you were looking in the baby product section, or you were looking in just baby products, and you wanted to look at, I don't know, breast pumps. So I don't know why that one came from. So you can tell I haven't got a child, but I'm sure they'll be used, right? So if you wanted to search using that keyword in there, it will bring up products that not only fit all of these parameters, but it also has breast pump in the keyword in the title as one of their keywords, right? So if that was a product that you were interested in, you might be able to identify any good products with that in the title that you would like to pursue. Some of these I wouldn't bother with. Again, best sales period. You can look at the sales percentage change, so you don't want to look at products that fluctuate too much in that respect. Again, with price change, the same. You don't look at products that their price fluctuates a lot, so you might want to put a max of 10% fluctuation either way. Monthly sales, if you want to put that as a minimum of 200 monthly sales a month, so an average sale price of £8. So you're not going to see anything doing less than £1,600 per month in revenue. Images is another good data point that you can manipulate. So you'll see a lot of products, right, that are doing very well with extremely low images, like two images. And if you are seeing products that are doing well with 2 images, well then, wow, what will happen if you bring to market something with 8 tailored images of high quality that to satisfy all the things that images need to satisfy when selling on Amazon? It will give you a better chance of succeeding. So let's look for images. Let's look for listings, that have got hardly any images, because that's an indication that they're doing very well without a great listing. So Again, you can manipulate the weight, different things like that, depending on the data point. So we can see here that you've got two tools there straight away, one which is free to an extent for a certain time, and also black box. Now, the data is more accurate in my opinion than Jungle Scouts from this, and again, I'm not trying to put down Jungle Scout. I think there's fantastic software, but I do think that this is better. So it is more accurate, and you can test that for yourself. So if we move on, and there is a little button there, I think it pops up a video if you want to learn how to use this. It will give you another breakdown of how it works. So we've also got Trendster. Now, if we move forward to this section here, now this, in my opinion, doesn't work very well. So Trendster, certainly not for what I've searched for. So if you look for a certain ASIN, it basically tracks their BSR over a period of time, the price over a period of time, and also it will combine it with sales data from, or it's supposed to, from Google Trends. Now, I can't get it to work. So for example, and this is an example of why this is convenient, right? We can just copy that and we'll pop it into here as an ASIN, and let's search for it. We'll just type RFID, because that's the search term. We don't need to do it. So 1 year, start Trendster. Now it should, invalid ASIN. That's definitely not an invalid ASIN. Let's try this one. Let's try this. Come on, Helium-10. Right, let's delete RFID as well. So start Trendster. Invalidation. So this is an example. It doesn't work very well, right? It's not ideal. Again, luckily they've got it integrated into their X-ray. Remember I told you can search for BSR, and you can also do it other ways, so it's not the end of the world. It should actually show it on the listing itself. So if we click here, we can see it should load somewhere in here. There, so it breaks it down there anyway, so we can see sales rank, new price, list price. So you can get that much of that data from here anyway. But I just couldn't seem to get it to work very well from here, and it didn't. The ones that did work when I searched for the ASINs didn't bring up Google Trends here as well, which I wasn't too sure why that was happening. But we'll move on. And this is the final one I'm going to look at in this section. We're going to do a second video. Again, I don't want you guys to fall asleep on me. It's the last thing I want. I want to keep you engaged. So Magnet is another tool that is, again, part of the suite of tools. This is what was so beautiful about this software, is that we've got access to all of these tools. This is the equivalent of merchant words, right? You pay $100 a month for merchant words. You've suddenly got it as part of all of the this suite of tools. So Magnet enables you to conduct keyword research. Now, an important element of this is that you can ensure that your data is being gathered from .co.uk, right, rather than .com. So one of the downsides with Jungle Scout, with their keyword scout, is that it's unable to ascertain or gather data from the UK marketplace. So when you're searching for when you're looking for keywords, you're looking for the search volume, you're looking for what works well, you're looking for longer tail keywords related to main search terms. It's all based on US stats. Whereas on Helium-10, they allow you to access data from the UK, which is, as UK sellers, extremely important, and it's a massive factor why you would choose this over Jungle Scout, and the fact that it's integrated into their tools. So if we look at an example here for Magnet, let's type in RFID card blocker. So let's say that you were looking to sell this product, and you were thinking, you know, what is the search volume for this keyword, right? Are people searching for it? And also, what other search terms could I use in my listing? So if we search there, it will break down. If we search there, it will break this down for us, and we'll give it a moment for it to populate these results. It does take a moment. My internet is actually pretty quick as well, but it does take a second. So we can see that the search volume here is 1,694 for RFID blocking card. So if we scroll down very quickly here, we can see, if we just, I like to filter it with the search volume. So if we click the search volume there, it will show us the search volume monthly for related search terms, right, which is really important. It shows you our search term, RFID card blocker, which is doing, is receiving about 5,500 searches a month, but it's also showing you other search terms as well. Now, these are search terms that you would consider putting in your product description, in your back-end keyword section. And again, you actually have access to UK data as well here, which is important. It also breaks down sponsored ASINs for that search term. So what are people paying for through their sponsored ads? Again, a minimum word count of 2 always. We don't really want to see single words for search terms. They're very broad and no one really just searches for 1 word. It's usually 2, and the more specific you get with the more words, the more detailed and refined the search term becomes. Again, you can look, if you want to look for just organic keywords, that will bring up pretty much everything that's related to that search term. But if you wanted to put it as, say, smart complete, it should only bring up products that have those keywords, only bring up keywords that have all of those words within them in no particular order. So if we put it as smart complete and we'll apply, we should see the RFID has to be in there. So we can see RFID blocking card, RFID blocking card, RFID blocking card in a different order. So it will give you more specific terms that have to have that search term in them if you're homing in on a keyword in much more depth. So yeah, I mean, it gives you a breakdown. There are more advanced filters again, but ideally we just look at these ones here. Also, something to mention about this tool that you can capitalize on and make the most of is you can use this at a few different stages, right? So you can use it at the stage where you're conducting product research and you're trying to establish what keyword phrases or what search terms have a high search volume. You can use it at the stage that you are when you're creating your listing to understand what search terms have high search volumes that as such then as a result you'll want to include them in your listing. But you could also use this and kind of double it up as using it in the product research stage, right? So what I mean by that is when you're searching for particular products, right? Let's just say you're searching for a wallet, right? So we're just going to type in men's wallet. Hopefully it doesn't matter that it's in capital letters. So let's search for men's wallet here. Give it a moment to sort itself out. And that's a reasonably broad search term. So people who are searching for men's wallet, they might want a small wallet, a big wallet, a black wallet, a white wallet, a particular type of material for their wallet. We're not sure. It's a very broad search term. And then when you're a beginner, you do search for broader search terms because they're the only things that pop into your mind when you're searching. But what we can do from looking at the search term volume, if we click that button there, it will populate the highest at the top. We can see that there are, and again, we see their card holder immediately comes up. So, and again, RFID card holder that we just looked at, it will give you ideas for other products. So you might, and if we put that word count up to 3 and we'll apply that, so we see the search term with 3 search terms. So credit card holders, right? You might immediately now, you know that the search volume for that is 6,500 a month. You might go and look at credit card holders on the Amazon platform and realize that there's a lot of demand for them, but there's much less competition than the search term that's just purely looking at men's wallets. So leather wallet, for example, when I mentioned material, RFID blocking wallet, right? So it's giving you ideas. So I would suggest using it during the product research stage, right? Why not? Capitalize and make the most of the tool at as many different stages as you can. Now, from here, we can do a few different things, which we're going to look at in the next video when we jump into Cerebro, where we can actually go and have a look at some of their top products and do reverse ASIN searches. We're going to look next time at using a few other tools that they offer, which help you create your listing itself, help you write your listing, and a few different things, scribbles, things like that in between. So this tool is great. I do recommend it. Again, like I mentioned before, I'm not one to just promote software just for the sake of it. I have trialed this for a long time, months and months and months. I've introduced it to a few students over those months who've been trialing it, and based on that period, it has done better than Jungle Scout. There's been no issues with it, no inconsistencies. It offers more for less. So take a look, guys. I am an affiliate with Helium 10. If you want to have access to my affiliate code, just check the description below, or you can email me at info@amazonsupremacy.com. I'll put it on the screen now as well for you guys. Take a look. I hope you found the video useful. Again, we're going to go into some of the more unique tools in the next video, but I wanted to break it down a little bit for you guys as well. So hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.